So I'm looking for the moment, and then for some reason, Rodney starts crying about his mom. You know, it's like being this stick of dynamite and being like, I'm ready to fucking run around and ruin this moment. But this is like live TV. My feet are sweating.
It's time to get wild.
That was wild.
Welcome to That Was Wild. I'm Adam Macias, and this episode is going to be wild. This is a show where every week I talk to my wildly funny friends about their wild stories and about the wild things happening in the world, and we try to have a, you guessed it, wild time while doing it. I'm Adam Macias. I'm a comedian who loves wild stories, been podcasting for many years. And yeah, I have millions and millions of views. Who gives a shit? Because it's all about the wild stories, because I love talking to people about their wild stories. And this person I am so excited to talk about because I've known him probably my whole UCB improv career. Starting back from the UCB 201 days, we've done musical improv together. We've definitely kissed a few times. You've seen him. I know you've seen him in at least many commercials, many movies. He's currently the lead of a wonderful independent film called Typecast that just won Best Actor in Los Angeles Film Festival as well as the Austin Film Festival because this man is amazing. It's Clem Darling, everybody.
Nice. Wow, what an intro.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing here. Know what I'm doing here.
You do. Look at this place.
Yes.
Fucking awesome.
This is Freddie Mercury,
Wow.
a.k.a. My
R.I.P.
Jesus.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Yeah.
I would light a candle for him before
Wait, did you say
Jesus.
R.I.P.?
He's dead.
What?
You didn't know that? I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I don't mean to taint the rest of this whole interview.
This interview's over.
But
I gotta go do some. I gotta go do
You
some
should
soul
light the
searching.
candle, man.
So thank you so much for coming on the show, man. You are honestly one of my favorite people in the world, oldest, best friends
I know, right?
in LA.
We've been through a lot.
We've
in
done
this
so
world.
many
Yeah,
things. We've
it's
started
crazy.
a podcast, ended a
I
podcast.
know, I told you that the last time I did a podcast was like years ago.
We had an awesome podcast called La 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 Land
La La Land.
with our friend Drew Hellenthal, where it was my first podcast. Right after UCB 201, we decided to do an improvised podcast about two rock stars in the band Smooch.
Yeah. It was awesome.
It was so fun.
It was great. We'd do the shows and we'd yell at the audience and we'd be like, you know the songs, sing the words. And there was improv. So there was no way they knew the words.
It was so fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was such a fun show.
Yeah.
Honestly, we got to do more of that because the concept is like, you tell us your favorite song of ours
that we wrote.
and then we just perform it
And then
live.
it was awesome.
Such a fun time. Such a fun time.
Let's do a reunion tour.
Yeah, you were the
Let's,
lead singer,
do it for
but
the
I would
sales.
end up singing most of the
Yeah,
songs.
I hid in the back. I slowly would just fade into the back.
That was the best part. Is that
You would take over.
our like side character Rhodey would be singing the most songs.
But
which
it's
was
awesome
Drew.
because it kind of reminds me of like an Oasis vibe.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
like where Noel kind of
Yeah.
like, it was like, who's got the real talent here?
Yeah,
and then it'd be
exactly.
like, Adam kind of writes all the songs. And then it's like, oh, Adam sings all the songs now too.
But yours
And
were the
Clem just
best.
stays like on tambourine.
Like I'm mostly like I would be like really focusing on rhyme and like trying to come up with a punchline, and you would just whenever you would sing, it would be the most hilarious things
well,
because you would just speak your mind in the best, most Clem Darling way.
Well, it was like the characters we had were like challenging,
Yes.
right? You were the guy who was like Slash, who could be like in a Pepsi commercial in anything forever. And
Yeah.
I felt like my character was more this guy who's like, let's talk about, like, it'd be
Yes.
some topical issue we should not be talking about right now.
I guess I never, I never picked up on that.
I
That's
always
actually
sort of
hilarious.
Saw it as like this guy would be like, where you'd be like, oh my
This
God, why is he
activist,
doing-
like,
why
lead
is he
singer.
like, yeah.
That's actually so funny.
like
dude.
vacuous dude.
Yeah.
He'd be like, you know, nice guitar. Like there's an actual talented guy. You play guitar,
Yeah.
crafting the songs. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna say something.
I gotta speak my
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. And it's like what gets the headline,
Oh
and
my
everybody's
gosh.
like, oh, okay.
I never
But yeah.
picked up on that. That is so fucking funny. We only stopped for like last year. We came back, the pandemic was done, and we're like, let's bring it back.
It was the worst name for the pandemic.
Yeah,
Smooch. No, seriously.
couldn't
We
do
had
a
the
show.
name as a title at Theater Clubhouse, and they emailed me during the pandemic being like, can't do this.
Really?
Because they thought it was like a kissing show.
Oh.
And I was like, this has nothing to do with kissing. It's like
so
a band.
Fun.
But
It's just
like,
a play on the band Kiss.
Yeah, but it was like,
That's
yeah,
so
it is a play on the
fucking
band Kiss. But yeah.
Wait, so let's talk about Typecast real quick. That is an indie film.
Yeah, feature film.
Feature film.
Yeah.
You are the lead in, and you
Yeah.
also
co-wrote it. Yeah.
co-wrote it with the director.
With the director.
And I was checking out the bio. It's essentially about a man who comes to Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Does a lot of background work
Yeah.
and has some wild antics.
Oh, totally. It was based off of a lot of like actual stories of when I first started like 10 years ago, and I would get these like horrible background gigs.
Yes.
Like the worst background gigs you could imagine.
I've done some bad background gigs too.
Do you have
Yes.
Everybody's got like
but you've
horror
been on like
stories.
Boba Fett.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
I've been on like huge $100 million. I was on like Boba Fett,
Zack Snyder's shit. and
Zack
stuff
Snyder,
too.
Rebel Moon. I was on that for like 2 months. It's
Oh my
just like
God.
a guy who got exploded pretty much. Well,
Wait,
it was like
in the most recent one, the one with the battle.
The battle. You
Fuck,
could see
dude.
me. You see me cheering at the end when they win. I was one of the
I
7
missed
guys
that
who
one.
survived.
Damn
I go
it.
like,
I remember seeing you in Boba Fett, and you had a
Yeah.
pretty good screen. You had a
I know.
good moment in Boba Fett. And I was
somebody
like,
points
"That's
at
fucking
one of
Clem."
the people point and go, "You'll never be a Jedi like him."
Yes.
And then they point at me, and I'm like, "Oh, I just like dirty." The title of that role was "Dirty Ugly Villager." And then the director, when they did like I was a 2-shot wonder on that one. She looked at me and goes, "Just look a little dumber. They're not smart."
And
I
they're
was
like,
"Yeah."
you're like, you don't do anything. It's like perfect.
No, yeah, no, for sure. It was like a 16-hour day. That was it was a pretty. That was like they just shipped us in the desert, and it was like that was back when I was non-union. So like
Yeah.
they would just like have these people, and they're mostly fans. So they're people who had like
Of
heated-
Rebel Moon or Zack Snyder.
No,
and stuff?
no, that's the Star Wars.
Oh,
Star
right,
Wars,
right,
they
right,
get
yes,
like a
yeah.
bunch of people who were real big fans, and then they literally just throw a bunch of dirt on us and like put us in these crazy outfits.
Literally throw some dirt on you.
It
Like,
was fake dirt.
Okay,
It was-
okay.
But after a while,
Like-
when you're there like 15, no, they have these bags that they like pound on you.
Wow.
And they put on your face, and then you go to makeup, and for like an hour.
so they
just
pound
put
you
shit-
with dirt bags,
And then
they're
and then
get
like
on camera ugly.
for sure. No, and then the weirdest part is some of them are like literally like you know, all the principal cast get like Fiji water, and we had this fountain that you'd like pump.
Like an old
no, it was
timey,
like because it was for
gold
like
miners found.
it
You're
was like
"Rick,
recycling
Rick."
for recycling, and so like we were just in this fountain.
So you're drinking your own piss water, and
Maybe.
Oh my
It
gosh.
But like the funniest part was that everybody there, like after a while, I was like, this is really long and hard. And then like 90% of the background there were like, isn't this the best moment of our life? You know, like, and it was being in some sort of crazy cult because
my
I'd just be
God.
like, no, we're real hot and tired.
There's
I think it's time to go home.
There's
But,
always some
yeah.
like interesting people that do background specifically. Like when my first background gig, I was supposed to be a PA. I was out in the
they're
desert.
kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
A lot of background become PA, a lot of PA become background.
Totally,
It's
because
like a
they
thing.
don't.
Yeah.
It's like free
It's like
labor.
you're all at the lowest end of the totem pole.
Yeah,
so it's
just
like,
like,
at this
go
point,
do this.
we're all just the same.
But yeah, and I was in this weird short film from like an AFI grad. We were doing PA, and they were like, we need a background actor. I was like, yes, me. This is my moment.
yeah.
And the people were pretty strange. We would do like I don't know if you've ever did this with background, but we were like, what's our character? Like, oh, we would try to have
you
like
get
our
real
own
into
mini
it.
scenes.
You don't have
like,
much to do.
Yeah,
so,
so
like,
they would
why
be
not
like-
just play pretend?
they were
you
just
know?
play
Like, yeah.
pretend like, oh, I hate you. Oh, we're secretly in love and stuff like
Totally,
that. And I was
yeah.
like, the whole time, like, I'm very much the type of person of like, when someone makes a joke, but I'm like, what's the half joke of that? You know, like, what's the real, like, why are you really, so like, oh, we're
right.
secretly in love. I'm just like, so you want to bang me, right?
Yeah,
you want to
no,
fuck me? Is
seriously,
that what's going
You're
on?
smart. I don't go that far, but yeah, you're like, why are they making this joke?
Yeah,
right
it's
now?
like,
They
oh, you
must
actually
really
hate me.
want-
Yeah. Like, I'm very much like, what's the real thing that you're proposing here? And
It's so funny.
and one of the craziest people I've ever met was like, he's just like, yeah, you like my iPhone case? It's made of snake skin. And he's like, yeah, you like my belt? It's made out of snake skin. And apparently, like, he has this like side business in LA of just making snake apparel.
Yeah, no,
Snake boots from snake iPhone cases.
Yeah,
And he was
he's
trying to
just-
sell it to like the director and like get it featured in the film and shit.
that's
And it was like, it's like this weird dystopian thing we were doing. It was, yeah.
side hustles are huge
For
with
sure.
background. And also, it's weird you say that. My dad tried to pawn out. Somebody gave him a snakeskin like wallet, and
Oh,
I
yeah?
saw him recently, and he was like, "Hey, this is yours now. And it's terrifying. And he was like, yeah, that's why I don't want it either. You know, like he's like trying to throw away this because it's like, I was
it's
like,
a vibe for sure.
I don't know if it's whose vibe.
It's some like,
yeah, like
some weird,
me,
yeah, like you doing meth and riding motorcycles.
I was like, because I tried to squint and be like, I could, no, there's no world where I'm having a snakeskin wallet. It's just not happening.
I mean, yeah. You either, it's like a snakeskin wallet means you sell drugs and definitely go to like Reno on the weekends.
Yeah, you have gambling problems.
Yeah, you have gambling problems
like,
for
there's
sure.
no other reason
you
have a, like you
it's
should
like
be an AA.
It's the like male equivalent of like being flashy, you know, like
right, where you're like pulling it out and you're like, look how big my wallet is.
Women have like Louis Vuitton. We have rattlesnakes to show
but
that.
Still, it's not flattering. I'd rather see a woman with a Louis Vuitton purse. That's fine. That's cute.
Yeah.
But like a guy with a
but
even a woman with a like snakeskin wallet, I'd be like, out. Deal breaker.
I made this myself.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, I don't want you being this close to snakes.
So you except for my snake. Anyways,
love your snake.
Okay, or hard look at my dick. So you've done a lot of crazy background work. You wrote, co-wrote this film, and you started winning awards, man.
Oh yeah. It was funny. It was like it fit like a glove being this overused, horrible, sad background guy who gets used up by LA.
I wonder why.
It was like they were like, man, you're really good at acting like that.
Favorite thing you've ever done was the Harry's Razors or Dollar Shave Club. Dollar Shave Club campaign. You were on so many of those.
I was on billboards. I had like relatives sending me like pictures on like airports and stuff. It was that was again humiliating was the reason I got that role. Like I went in, it said, how would you read this? So for the first audition, it went, guy with bad hair comes in, has bad hair, needs to fix it because it was frustrated hairstylists. You like use their gel and then you look better. And so I read that probably high in the morning, of like, and I was like, I'm going to put a bunch of gel in my hair and make it look fucking crazy, because it said guy with bad hair. So I was like,
not like I just woke up bad hair, but like purposely like bad
crazy
hair.
Bad
like
hair.
He's crazy and that's why it's bad. Yeah.
And then so I get into the audition thing and you're in this room with like 7 other people who look exactly like you. None of them have even weird hair. They're all like normal. And then I look at the thing and I'm like, it just says he's like, frustrated hairstylist. There's nothing here that says he has bad hair. You know what I mean? Like where you read it and you think you
you read it wrong.
And I was like, nowhere here.
You flipped it somewhere.
Because I was like, this is they're playing the normal hair guy or something. Like it's just like it was like terrifying.
But but it worked. Though.
Well, it was funny because it was this Australian director. That was just the first audition, and he was there, and he was like, your hair looks really bad, like that's crazy. And he like had this thick on, and I was like, yeah. And I was like sweating, when you like get like red, because I was just like, I'm not prepared to fuck up this bad. And then he's just like, just calm down. Like he had a moment with me and he was just like, just look in the camera and look real, like your hair looks bad and you got to fix it. And I was like, this is the easiest thing in the world right now because I was like so fucking terrified.
Trying to actually fix your bad hair.
Like it was crazy because I did that audition. They had like a quick callback where I was like normal, but the director later when they booked me, they were like, that first audition, I knew it was you.
Nice.
And I was like, man, I was one of those people who like fucked up, but it is like an audition story where like they all were like, oh, this way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying get high in the morning and read your
That is what you're saying.
There was a world where I was
Clem Darling method.
No, don't do that.
That's the Clem Darling method. Get high in the mornings and misread stuff.
Misread stuff to the point that you're like existentially terrified, that you have like a pit in your stomach feeling of like, oh my God, I think I'm doing the wrong thing.
They thought you were like, let's get this poor kid a job. He needs something. Yeah.
I think it was either end. They were like, either he's like, man, he's real into it. He's do what he wanted. He made a choice, or they were like, man, we feel bad for this guy.
But I feel like that's so you kind of need to you need to stand out in some way for sure for like being in the industry of somehow.
Even in auditions since then, like I've had people who've messed up next to me and they're the ones who get the call back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the person who like, or standing just like too
somehow.
much. You know what I mean? Like it's a very, I think, risky thing to do, but sometimes it does pay off in its own way because you'll meet like some really outgoing like foreign person who's like paired with you in a scene and they'll just eat the scene. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they'll
eat the
like
scenery,
like do everything,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, man, this guy is annoying,
He's
and
like,
then you'll
"Fuck
be
this
like,
guy. He's
that's
not
the
gonna
guy
get
in
it."
the commercial.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That
Something
has
about
happened
it
to me.
stands
Yeah.
out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if that's more like along the lines of like you think it should be done this way, and then
Right.
that guy's like thinks he's just doing a way bigger version of what he thinks.
I think philosophically, there's something a lot to that if you think in your gut it's supposed to be one way, probably 12 other people did.
Yes.
And then you're creating this like
Yes.
like it's almost like the writer created a monster because they create this idea that everybody's just initially having,
and someone
then the
manifesting it in a passionate way.
But then, or even the one who just diverges from it, they're all like, "Oh gosh, that's
I
so
didn't
unique."
even see it that
yeah, like
way.
you know,
Yeah.
like, and then they like only have 4 days to book you,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
these are all real quick turnarounds, and they're like, "The nuke that guy," you know what I mean? Like,
oh, I want to see what he does. Yeah,
and like, and it's funny because
all writers hate themselves, so they also just want to be like told that they're wrong.
Well,
you know, like,
well, it's crazy too because you asked about that one. So like after that, I got a bunch of like commercials where the guy looks bad and then has to look better because of something, whether it's a mattress or a car. Like like they see this thing.
Yes.
And so I booked one for like Nissan, and then I booked another one for a mattress commercial. And it was funny because I kept getting booked off of the bad look. And this happened at the Dollar Shave Club thing too. And that was a large scale. That was like a huge week-long thing. And so they shoot all the bad looks, like me looking like an idiot in front of the mirror, having bad hair.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 days, they're shooting me with like looking good. Like the sellable image.
Yeah.
And they first day, they're supposed to shoot all day. They don't because they hate how I look. Because I'm not good. They're like, he looked bad, but we need to sell the thing now. You know, like, so they do all these tests, literally. And so they keep sending these pictures to the client, and it's me and like the wardrobe and like the hairstylist and makeup people, and then they're like, oh, they don't like this one either. And then so they're looking at it, and then the second day, this never really happens. The clients come in.
Yeah.
So all 6 of the huge big board members just stare at me.
Maybe it's like the pictures that are
they're
they're
like,
just staring at you.
They're like looking at the different options, and they're not happy.
Oh,
they're like staring at me,
my
talking about me
God.
like I'm not there. They're like talking like, oh man, what are we going to do about this? You know what I mean? They're like, can we put his hair up? And they're like, we tried that. Look, it's not working. You know, like, and the director is like, we got to go. And they end up shooting it. And I have this like weird sinking feeling. Like the first part of the week's so fun, and the second part I'm like, is this? And they're like just not talking to me, kind of like side eyeing me the whole time.
We loved you because you were ugly.
Yeah,
but
no.
you're not.
And then it's funny because all of the promo shots afterward, like they did all these stills, they had a commercial, were me with the bad hair, looking upset. So they couldn't even find a finished. And it's funny because in the commercial, there's a second where I'm like, this it? And everybody's like, yeah, you look great.
Yeah.
And everybody who was my friend were like, you don't look that great. Like that was their response to the commercial. It wasn't like, wow, you're in a commercial. They're like, yeah, I didn't buy that. And it was a common problem because I had a mattress one that got way worse, and that was a smaller scale one. But the guy booked me. It was supposed to be I was a zombie. And then I sleep on the mattress and I'm normal, good looking guy again.
Yes.
And so in the room, my agent was like, walk into his office, because it was just this weird audition where the owner was like the director was like doing it, you know, like, so it's like she was like, just walk in as a zombie, like it'd be funny if you do that. And then so I like did it, and he thought it was funny. It was this like foreign Greek dude, and then he booked me on the spot, and I was like, great. And then I ended up
you on the spot.
He was
That
like,
feels
I love
that
this
must
guy.
be pretty good.
Yeah, it was crazy. I had never had that happen. He like
That's
patted me
awesome.
in the back. He was like, I want this guy, but he was very unprofessional. You know, like he's this dude who owned it. So then we like
didn't know how the process works.
Yeah, he was just like whatever. And then we do the shoot. And he sees me post zombie, and I could show you pictures. It looks pretty bad. My hair is really long. They just slick it back. I look like some like 90s Sopranos fucking weirdo.
Italian,
and like
lobster.
Yeah. And then the guy like point blank looking at me goes, I want a new guy. And they had already shot the zombie things. And so the director is this older dude who's like, you can't do that. That's like, that's not gonna happen. And he like walks away, and then the director looks at me like, "What?" You know, like, and I'm like,
"What do you think we should do?"
And I'm
You're
like,
the director.
And it was so funny.
That's cool. He stood up for you though.
No, he did, but it was a weird feeling of being like, it's happening again. Do you know what I mean? Like where I was just like, oh man, they booked me on these. Like,
I think you're very handsome.
No,
Clem.
I'm like, it wasn't a self-esteem thing. It was just this sort of like eye roll, like
You're
you
just-
almost when you want to like book them, be like, hey. you do know this has to look good.
You have to do like, it almost does make sense to like pick the handsome guy and like slub
And
him
make
up a
him
little
up.
bit.
That's why they do it in those 90 movies.
Yeah.
That's why they do it with like the girl with the brim glasses and stuff. Like she's not,
They
she
had
doesn't look like me beforehand.
Yeah, that's
I'll tell
so
you that.
funny. That's so funny. But I do want to talk about one of your favorite gigs that I have. And I feel like there's probably a story here of you on the Bachelorette reunion.
Oh, yeah,
Can
totally.
I have the video. Can we watch it real quick?
Out of like most of the things I've done, I think like most of my family members think about this one more than the other ones.
This is pretty wild. I'm going to be honest. This is a pretty wild gig. And I don't even know why it makes sense. So maybe you can explain it. So we're watching a Bachelorette reunion coming back from break, I think, or a video clip. Here we go. Clapping. And Clem is taking his shirt off, and people reacting, and he's fully naked with a black box around his dick
On ABC.
Oh, and you're running around the. Oh my God! And security's running to get him and chase him off. So. Why?
Yeah,
did that happen?
This is what happens. Living the dream, right? Living the Hollywood. Like, because my agent was like, at like 10, was like, I need a picture of you in tidy white. I had a mustache at the time.
I know. This mustache is mighty, my friend.
It was a real mustache. Yeah. So everything I was being auditioned for and booking was like creepy, weird dude who streaks or guy who lives with his mom who does other weird things that nobody should talk about. Like it was all these like horrible roles. This was the most like normal role I was getting auditioned for. Oh man.
Were you
a good
actually
shot.
naked in this?
No, I was wearing like one of those like
socks or like a
no, because they were all there's like hundreds
Real
of people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were all reasonable people. So I had to wear like a skin tight like thong type of thing.
It was a thong. So there was your
sort of
flaps,
underwear.
your butt
My
flap
butt
was out.
wasn't it wasn't like up my crack, but it was
Okay.
like a sort of bikini.
Okay,
sort
so
of
we're talking like
situation.
booty shorts. sort
Yeah,
of
it was
vibe.
like booty shorts. But yeah, it was a whole like she was like, just send a picture to this link of you with a mustache in your tidy whities. And I was like, okay. And then they were like, oh, you're booked for the week as like this, because it was a reunion show.
Yeah,
they
so
bring
were
all
you-
the characters back.
Uh-huh.
And so they were.
What is this like? Do you know what the story is behind this?
No, I had to learn a lot about that. It was like
Okay.
way too much
To
information.
help with your
for my process.
motivation. Yeah.
So like
Your process of taking
I'm
off
just
your
there
clothes.
with the two women who are like, and none of the audience are there. The like cast people aren't there because they're surprising them in the moment. Like this
Yes.
is all like
Yeah.
sort of pranky, fun thing.
Yes.
And so they have to like rehearse. They like have all this blocked off for where I'm allowed to run, and we have like rehearsed it
With
beforehand.
the security guards that are probably
the security
actors
guards
as
are
well.
friends of mine. Like they're like they're
Weird, I
actors.
didn't get
bet.
that call. I would have loved this call.
Oh no, they're not friends of mine. I only became friends with them because
Later.
I was on the
Gotcha.
set with them. But
Gotcha.
but it was a crazy situation because they rehearse all this shit, right? And then they're like, you're gonna right at this question, when she says this question, they treat me like I'm a stunt. Like I'm like this like
Yes.
dynamite that's they're like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you do the thing.
This is
and
your
then you run
keyword.
over-
Yeah.
And so we have it all super rehearsed. And then on the day of, they ask Rodney, the guy, he likes streaking, so that's why I streak. Like I'm supposed to be a big fan of one of the guys.
And that's you're the I
Yeah.
liked that you chose to make your voice sound like a woman a little bit in the beginning. You're like, Rodney,
Yeah,
yay!
right.
Rodney, yay! That was an interesting choice.
Yeah, no, I definitely thought of like what would be the dumbest way to be like a streaker. You know what I mean? Like I thought what would make me laugh.
Yeah.
the moment, like-
this is amazing.
Yeah, and but this is like me terrified because so it was all in an act break, and then they were like, so they have me ready. I'm wearing this stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm like sitting next to all these normal people, and I'm like, I don't really want like as much as it's fun. I'm like, this is kind of stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I'll be like happy when I'm
I
back
think
at
it's
craft
probably
service.
more stupid.
Yeah,
if I were
yeah.
you, I'm not saying I love this idea is great. If
Yeah.
I was you in that moment, I would feel that I'd be like, I'm not excited about this.
Well,
at all.
and also there was a lot of crazy shit that happened during the rehearsals. Like there was 3 days of rehearsals, and there were like stand-ins for all these people, and they made the stand-ins like sit there for like 2 days straight just for like 16 hours, and one of them fell asleep.
Uh-huh.
And then the AD, who's this like ripped dude, went and like elbowed him.
Oh.
And then the guy like woke up and had one of those wake up moments where he was just sort of like mad.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Like where you were
What
deep.
the fuck? Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
he was like, you can't fucking touch me like that. And then he had to get escorted out of security. And then they both like squared up.
Oh,
and were like,
shit.
and me and the two women, they were wearing like jumpsuits and drinking frappuccinos. And I was just like there in my like boxer shorts, like watching this guy like maybe beat up the AD.
Oh
and,
my
like,
God.
So it was this, and then the AD came after that and was like, let's do your blocking. And he was all mad. And he was like, I want you up there. And I want you like thrusting in front of the ladies. And
Oh, wow.
I was like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. You know,
Nice.
like I was
Oh,
like,
you put the
yeah. And then
kibosh
he
on it.
like, he walked away all mad to the director. And he was like, he's being difficult. And I thought I was going to be replaced or something. And then I resorted to, how about I just like dance in front of all the men, you know, like instead of like thrusting in front of the women. And,
Yeah.
and then like, so we figured it out, but after a while it's all really, really choreographed. So I'm like ready to do it at this moment. And then, so I'm like looking for the moment. And then for some reason, Rodney starts crying about his mom, like during the question, right before the streaking question. And so I'm looking at this and I'm getting this like feeling of like, I don't think this is, I know I'm supposed to go right now,
moment,
but like,
yeah.
you know, but there's like 500 people and I'm like, I'll go, you know, it's like being a stick of dynamite and being like, I'm ready to fucking run around and ruin this moment.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this is like
You're
live,
the soldier,
but
man.
this is like
Yeah,
live
yeah.
TV. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, this is not even like something you could reshoot. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, my feet are sweating. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting there being like, and everybody's looking at me like I'm about to, like, people are like, is he about to throw up? You know, like the normal people sitting next to me.
Like,
and then like,
oh, he must be affected by Rodney's
and then
mom.
the AD with his big biceps holds up a sign like with big letters on it going, don't do it. And and it's like right behind the camera, and I just look at the sign like a deer in the headlights. And
I was like, I wonder what that's for.
Yeah, and
Anyways,
then,
let me take off my clothes.
No, and then I didn't do it, and then we did it like later during
Good.
like they asked the question, but it was this like funny moment where I was like, I have a lot in my hands right now.
Now,
where it's
me
like,
being
yeah.
a tech person, having been in those booths,
yeah,
that discussion that of whether or not you guys should have done it was probably so fucking heated and stressed.
I was.
It's like because you only have one shot.
That was the thing.
And
he
there
was
was, like,
crying.
Yeah, it's like should we like? And it's like we got to pull
Yeah.
like you paralyzed with like. Well, I mean, this is what we planned. What do we do? Like, should we waste all this time? We got to do it. Like, just like the idea of like. How do we tell him? We don't even have his phone number.
No, that was where because there was no way to tell me.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then so at this last minute, like they were dying. He was just like, don't
do it.
And I was just like, okay.
You're like mid like.
No,
you're like,
for sure.
Oh.
I was like, and then but these things are so weird because
Yes.
then when I went home
It's
for
weird that there's
Thanksgiving,
rehearsing.
yeah.
Multiple days of rehearsal seems strange to me. Maybe it's just because of lighting or something, or
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I was
Just
there for
everybody needs a
3
job.
days, 3 full days.
That's
it was
crazy.
like, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we shot, I think, the following Monday.
Wow.
So like it was all these rehearsals, and the stand-ins had to do this degrading thing where they held a huge face of all the cast members in front of their face.
Why?
So that
Why?
So-
It's so not necessary. Why? To help you for some reason?
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
So like when that guy was asleep, he was just like this stupid fucking face. That's not his face.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
And all my family members, when I did this, thought it was real. That was the other funny, like cousins.
Oh,
they-
really?
Like I'd be at like they'd be like, "Man, how'd you fucking get away with that?" You know, and I'd be like, "It wasn't real."
You
I'm not
can
a
see
fucking
it. There's something
sneaky guy.
about the security guards when the security guards approach you that's like, oh, okay, this is not real.
right?
Like
Yeah, maybe
how they
it's-
are like trying to usher you off. They're not like they're
love
not
dissecting
trying to
this
come at you really. You know, they're like, what do we do?
We were just eating craft service 20 minutes before that, so that's why that didn't.
And this the runoff is so like comical. It's
Yeah,
almost like harder. You're like,
yeah.
you're like the naked guy from Family Guy. You never catch me.
Yeah, no, seriously, that was probably my subliminal inspiration.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Adam. Just want to jump in here and say if you like the show, please leave a 5-star review on the platform you're listening to. It really helps out the show. And here's a special announcement. I'm officially unleashing the That Was Wild phone line. That's right. Call 323-207-0387 right now to be heard on the show. The best callers of the week get some exclusive merch and a Venmo payment from me of $6.69. Nice. So if you have a wild story or just want to talk, call 323-207-0387 right now to get wild. All right, on with the show.
right, well, we're going to hear your wild story in a little bit, but you want to hear about some wild things happening in the world right
let's
now?
do it.
Okay. 706 people named Kyle got together in Texas, and it wasn't enough for a world record. Apparently, so this is this is like the second time I've seen something like this happen in the news.
Okay.
Where I guess there's like a Kyle, Texas.
Oh, that's why, because it's named Kyle.
Kyle, Texas, yes, is where the people are trying to organize the largest gathering of Kyles. How many people named Kyle? According to in the city of Kyle, Texas, to break the world record for the largest gathering of people with one name fell short Saturday, despite 706 Kyles of all ages turning up at a park in the suburbs of Austin, which used to live by.
I lived in Austin.
Yeah.
Fucking keep Austin weird, man.
The crown is currently held by the town Bosnia that got 2,325 people named Ivan together.
Ah, okay. So they were battling with
Ivans. Do you think there's over 2,000 people named Clem in the world?
Well, I'm the fourth, so
You
I know there
are?
are three
That's
more.
at least four?
Yeah.
Can I tell you
yeah.
this? You're not even the only Clem that's a musician. Darling.
Yeah.
Clem Darling, that's a musician.
For sure.
There's a
Where?
Clementine Darling
Okay.
in Sonoma, California, who's known as the folk freak
Wow, I've never heard it. Who is this person?
Clementine Darling.
Crazy.
And she is from her website.
Whoa.
She
She has a website?
She's a website. You have
I
one
don't
too.
even. Oh, yeah, my website's weird.
Sonoma
Weird website
County's
say.
freak folk sweetheart, Clementine Darling.
Where's Sonoma County?
That is up north, kind of near Napa.
Yeah, there's no way I can interact with this person because I feel like there's no introduction that isn't creepy.
Yeah,
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? Where
Hey,
I'm like, hey,
My name's
my name's also Clem Darling.
Yeah.
Like that to me is the weirdest message just to receive. People are really into 11/11, by the way.
That's like such a girl thing, right? Like
I just
11/11,
heard- yeah.
make a wish. I feel like most of my girlfriends cared about
I feel
that.
like someone named Clementine Darling would have an EP named 11/11.
Kyle's too many Kyles. That's what I have to say. I feel like Kyles have a reputation for maybe not showing up, so that makes sense.
Why do you say that? That's
don't know.
awesome. I love that.
I don't know. There's got that vibe. There's
No,
like,
it's funny you say that because I don't want to put anybody on blast, but
We could cut
maybe
out
the
that other
fucking
guy's
guy I
name,
was
yeah.
just talking about was like one of the things that like in the friend group. So it was like, you know,
he
he
doesn't
does,
show up.
no, he does this thing that's actually pretty funny where he'll like suggest to do something
Oh.
and then bail from the thing he suggested. And then the next time you hang out, he'll give you like shit for why you haven't hung out in a while. And it's like happened enough that we talk about how that happens enough. Do you know what I mean? So when you said that Kyle thing,
Yes,
I was
yes,
just
yes.
like,
It
yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
like a Kyle tendency.
The
I don't know.
only other Kyle I know, I think he killed somebody back in my hometown. Yeah. Maybe he's killing Kyles. Yeah. Kyle, he went to high school with him and he's now
Who'd he kill?
convicted
Like,
murderer.
is there a
Some
story
drugs,
behind it?
drugs.
Yo, he
Yeah.
like wanted drugs and
I
killed
think he
someone
killed
to get more.
Yeah, somebody who owed him money, some sort of
Shit,
thing.
man.
Yeah,
Kyle's not like a
pretty close to kill.
yeah, pretty close to kill.
It's dyslexic way of saying kill.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Kyle. I've never met a Kyle that I've trusted. No, I'm just-
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's trying to create something insane. All right, let's do this one. This is actually fucking wild. Literally, a Thai official is suspended after husband catches her in bed with her adopted monk.
Oh man,
Son.
It's a reverse Woody Allen right there.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's read this. A scandal of epic proportion has rocked not only the Thai social media, but the country's political scene. One of its stateswomen was caught by her husband in bed with their adopted son, a monk, no less, which is like life is imitating porn at this point.
Well, it's funny because maybe porn's ahead of everything. Do you know what I mean? Because for a
Yes.
while there
Mhm.
was this feeling, comedian stuff. You're like, what's with all this incest porn?
Yeah,
like, and that was sort of the feeling. Maybe
Yeah.
like 5-10 years ago. Like even as a normal heterosexual male who like watches it, you're like, why?
Why
And
are there so
yeah,
many?
and then like you see this, and you're like, maybe because soon everybody's gonna be fucking their adopted
or they've
son.
always been doing it,
Or they-
and
yeah.
it's just like porn is just being like the first to like bring it up to the masses.
Because I was just thinking, I'm shocked there hasn't been a porn I've seen where it's a Thai mother having sex with her monk adopted son. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
some
we could
monk,
find it. I bet
yeah,
you if we,
no, like
we
I
could
bet if we
Google it real
search like
quick.
some, like even that specific,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it could be. It doesn't even have to be Russian mom.
Specifically Thai,
yeah, like whatever it is.
Stepmom bang son monk.
Yeah, and there'd be like one where it's like, ooh, look at it in your
Well,
clothes. There's a boner.
if you're gonna have an affair with your monk stepson, or if you're gonna have an affair with your stepson, better make it a monk because you know they will never snitch because you could always swear them to a vow of silence.
I bet they could like not. I bet they could be like hard for a while and not come.
They're already good at tantric sex.
Yeah, they're good at that tantric shit.
Easy access because they just wear long dresses.
Yeah,
It's
that
like-
seems prime for like seeing a boner
Yeah, yeah.
in like a sexy mom way.
They're already doing yoga, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yoga pose porn.
Yeah. There it is. I think so.
This is a sexy
This
article.
this
No,
is
I
a
don't know.
sexy
This
story.
is probably bad.
Probably,
yeah,
well, I mean, it's adopted, so we're not
yeah, I feel like we can make all the jokes we want because she's 45, he's of age, he's
They're
adopted.
24.
Yeah,
They're
like
not
whatever.
that far.
Yeah.
What's the biggest age gap you've had?
I don't know, maybe like 10ish years.
Okay.
Yeah.
17.
17?
Mhm.
You've been with 17?
No. Not a
Oh.
17-year-old woman.
That's-
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You think I would just say that to you?
Yeah, I was like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah,
It just
dude, I
just goes
banged
like
teens.
beep. Like it goes to like a radio broadcast.
A baby.
Yeah, Drake.
Yeah, I am Drake.
yeah.
Kendrick Lamar is talking about me.
No, so she was older than you?
17 years older than me.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Good for
yeah, she
you.
was
That's
like-
awesome.
It was, yeah. I was 18 and yeah, she
You
was,
were 18?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
was-
So how old was she?
she was, 30 something, I think, or
What was the
42 or something
circumstance?
like that.
How'd you even like do
Roommate
that?
of a friend who was older,
Okay.
and she was down, and I was like, okay, that sounds cool.
Did you do it more than once?
Yeah, a few times. You know what was fucking weird? Maybe I shouldn't talk about this.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't talk about this. The weirdest thing though was, this is the weird
What was
shit.
the
You want to hear
wildest
some
part?
weird
Yeah.
shit about this?
Yeah.
She told me to call her mom.
Oh. It's not far fetched,
It's
right?
not
Yeah,
far-
like
and
I don't
was
know, like yeah.
whoa. Have you been checking my search history? What's going on?
See, she saw the future.
Yeah.
She got it.
Yeah,
18-year-old you
it-
did not.
It was bonkers. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. That's
You didn't do it? You
no, I
didn't call
do
her
it.
mom?
No, God no.
I had a girlfriend who wanted me to call her dad, or she
Just
wa-
call
no,
her dad.
No, she called me that.
Alex Cooper.
I guess it's weirder if they're asking you to call them something. Like I can be called anything. I could care less. Like they could call me whatever they want.
piece of
But
shit.
like but if somebody wanted to like make me say something, I think
Yes.
I would give like I'd have to think
Yeah.
about whether I'd be like cool because it's like
well,
line
what's something
delivery.
they wanted you? They
I had a
wanted to call
girlfriend who
you.
was like, "Oh, I want to call you daddy," right?
Okay.
And you're like, and I'm like, whatever, that's fine. You know what I mean?
fine.
But like, if
Yeah.
she wanted me to call her mom, I bet I could like deliver the lines, but
Mhm.
I don't know if there'd be like,
I
it's
think
weird
it's-
to do it.
Well, I think I was like, I was just like, that's so obvious. Obviously, I'm not gonna call you mom. I'm already thinking it. You know,
It's funny that why
But
not
it would
just
be
go
so
the
fu-
extra step?
it would be better if you called me dad, because then it's like I'm a time traveler, and now we're doing
like Back to the Future.
Back to the Future
Yeah.
stuff. That's what we should be doing.
Funny. Okay. I love that that's what your fantasy was. And it did fit,
My
it did fit
fantasy
with
is
her
Back to the
fantasy.
Future porn.
You're
That's
like,
what
I want to.
Why hasn't there been a Back to the Future porn?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Everybody thought it. Everybody thought when he's like looking at her on his underwear in
Oh,
the bed,
yeah.
and they're like he's gonna fuck his mom.
It's
right
definitely, it's
Yeah,
for
like,
sure
yeah,
implied. She
yeah.
tries to.
now. Right.
Yeah.
And so like maybe that's what started all the porn.
It's Back to the Future. Maybe
Yeah.
a time traveler from the future went back to the future to make Back to the Future, so then we would all want to bang
Wanna
our
be
moms.
banging our moms.
Mhm.
I think we figured it out.
We figured it
The
out.
Monk.
Yeah. the monk did it. 40-year-old politician Papakorn Chobawatcha was embroiled in a scandalous affair with, sorry for mispronouncing her name, I'm just dyslexic. It's not no disrespect. Affair with her adopted son Fra Ma, a 24-year-old monk, leading to her suspension from public office and stirring widespread attention across the mainland social media platforms. According to a report, Papakorn's husband T recorded the scandal on video. Oh, I need
my
to see
gosh.
this.
What? You recorded the like
This is-
actual like sex happening?
This is like this is like their like way of announcing that they have an OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
I bet they should do that.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they're smart.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
he's smart.
Yeah.
You just release that on OnlyFans.
And drove 5 hours to confirm his growing suspicion of his wife's activities. That's gotta suck though for that guy.
Weird. It must be a weird feeling to think that your son is fucking your wife.
Your adopted son.
Isn't that happening? This sort of happening with like no, it's different people though. I was thinking Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. You know, Scottie Pippen's son or Michael Jordan's son's dating like Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, I think.
Oh, right.
And like nobody's happy about it except for
maybe
you know,
the son, the couple.
The couple, yeah.
I mean, life is crazy like that. Okay. Speaking of sex, drones dropping colorful sex toys in Oklahoma City suburb rooftops on traffic lights.
Why?
That is the question for sure. The Moore Police Department informed Fox 25 that this has been made aware of several adult toys being placed on buildings, businesses, and intersections near some intersection on Telephone Road. Crews have taken objects down to mid-afternoon. I mean, it's not raining cats and dogs. It's raining cats and dongs.
Dildos and fleshlights. Somebody should try to like a snowflake. They should try to catch it. They should just try to see if it falls in the right place.
Yeah, just hopefully it's not used.
Yeah. Or if it's used, just clean it. You know,
yeah, could be. Yeah,
just sanitize
it's
it.
just covered in North Carolina semen.
Yum.
What would you do? You're walking around and like a dildo just falls out of the sky on you.
I think, yeah, if it fell in front of me, it would remind me a little bit of like the Truman Show. But I'd be like, what's going on?
I thought of the Paul Thomas Anderson film Magnolia.
Oh, frogs falling from the sky.
Falling down,
Yeah, yeah.
Which still makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I was trying to find some reason where I'd be like, ooh, I'm in like a movie right now, like it's sponsored by Hustler.
Yeah,
like it's like Truman Show meets Hustler.
Or like a Hunger Games like
Games, yeah.
drop. Like somebody's like, here, you're gonna need this.
Yeah, you're like, why? I don't know yet.
You trust me?
Yeah.
Your next mission's crazy.
No, the Back to the Future porn traveler is like, you're gonna need this to save the world.
I feel like
this fleshlight.
I feel like it's like, oh, it's like somebody's when they start delivering Amazon orders via drones, like this is your mom's Amazon delivery order.
You're like, oh God, why dildos? Why so many big dildos, Mom?
Oh my gosh. I do like the idea of it being a video game. Okay, so you're walking around the street, falls down on you, little robot voice.
Oh God, what? If this was real me, I'd fucking run. I would not interact. I'd be like,
Clem Darling, special delivery.
Like, no fucking way.
Clem. It just starts hovering and following you. Clem,
what is it?
please take.
What is it? Is it a pink dildo?
It's a pink pink dildo from your sponsors in the 3rd district.
Ew. What a weird Orwellian, horrible world we live in, if that's what's happening.
It's
I'm
like
just being like giving my like girlfriend her pink dildo that was delivered in an Amazon drone box.
It's just an interesting prank of dropping them off. Like the world just needs a little bit to chill out and masturbate a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, you do chill out more when you're a little more sleepy. It's for sure.
You got those dopamines for sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dopamine, this segment has been a dopamine packed full of stuff. For seriously. But let's move on to our next segment here, which is your wild story. Clem Darling.
I do. I have a story that actually has to do with our old improv team called Sarah Michelle Pfeiffer.
Sarah Michelle Pfeiffer.
Team,
great improv team. Some heavy hitters in that team who are not doing improv anymore.
I don't think any of them do improv anymore.
Yeah,
I literally don't think.
me.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
Maybe
on that team.
Alan, maybe?
Alan? We're going to talk about Alan doing anything. Has anybody talked to Alan?
No, but he did go to DC and like specifically loved it.
I thought he moved
spent
to
so
Seattle
much,
or something.
No, it was DC to
Okay.
like be his ex-girlfriend or something. Anyways, we're the only ones doing comedy at this point.
No, that was a long time
that's
ago.
not fair. Meg's doing it on social media, and
Meg does stuff.
Drew's
maybe doing
something.
stuff.
I don't know.
Dan, I don't know what's happening to Dan. Yeah, everybody on that team is no
That
longer.
is the funny thing about improv teams is that like in the beginning, we all think we're going to be like famous somehow, which is like we're all going to be on SNL and like the dreams, and we take it so seriously, guys. We need to practice. We need to coach, and then it's like cut to 2 years later and.
Just
life
me
just
and
gets
you.
in the way.
Just me and you left in this cesspool.
And the best. We of all the people that you would think would stick it out, it was
Here
definitely
we
me and
are.
you.
So
Let's hear this
oh
story.
yeah, so the story was that we at UCB Sunset, we had a show.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Long time ago.
Yes.
And so
We had a show at UCB
I think it was at the
Sunset?
Inner Sanctum.
Oh,
Or
okay.
something. It was somewhere around there. It
Okay.
was in the Inner Sanctum.
Okay.
And so I was like walking from, so I texted everybody. We had a group, like I texted everybody. being
Yeah, a
like,
little
hey,
group
I'm going to
chat.
go to Big Wings. Have you ever been to Big Wings? It's like a buffalo wing place in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I text everybody and I'm like, hey, let's all go. And then nobody responds. And so I just go and eat Big Wings. So I group text everybody. I go, let's meet at Big Wings. And then nobody responds. I eat the wings. And
How
I'm
many
like,
wings did you get?
it was just a bunch of buffalo wings. Really good.
You
Yeah,
love buffalo wings.
Yeah.
Every time we go out, that's what you order.
I do. I'm a buffalo wing guy. You know
Mhm.
that. So I'm walking back, going to Inner Sanctum from this
Big
like,
Wings.
From Big Wings.
Mhm.
And
We should mention Inner Sanctum is not like this weird culty thing, which it kind of is. It's the name of a performance space at UCB.
yeah, UCB
They had
Sunset.
two. They had
Yeah,
two stages there.
yeah.
One was the main stage, and the other one was the Inner Sanctum.
Yeah, which
This
is like
wasn't like
yeah.
This is where we would
Yeah,
like.
you're right.
Inner Sanctum does sound like it's a place
It was
where
like associated
celebrities
with
like sacrifice babies
no,
and stuff.
it's where
and we only
indie
did that on
improv
Mondays.
teams do improv.
Yeah.
So I was like walking there, and then I see this like guy with a backpack like looking at me, and I'm like, oh
Okay.
man, he's like staring at me. This is kind of uncomfortable, and I'm like, but whatever. I'm just like walking through Hollywood,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm like, this is getting kind of nightmarish. She's like following me,
Oh,
and like
shit.
looks like he's mad.
How far away are you from the
I'm
theater?
like I'm walking out of Big Wings.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
I'm like
immediately.
immediately like,
Okay.
oh, this guy's like looking at me weird, and I'm just like walking. I don't
Oh,
know what's
shit.
going on.
Okay.
And then I stupidly like make eye contact for a second, and then he just starts like running real fast toward me.
What?
And then I'm just like, oh, this is like a night. I don't know what to do. You know, like so then I run into Treehouse Tacos. Do you know that
Yeah.
fucking place?
Yeah.
And there's like all these people eating. It's like sort of a fancy taco place. I've never
Yeah.
been there. But
Uh-huh.
so I run in there and I'm like, crazy guy. Like I look at the hostess and there's a manager. I'm like, listen, there's somebody who's like chasing after me and I don't know what to do. Like,
Oh my
I'm
God.
like kind of
Are
scared.
you talking like this? Or are you
I'm
a little bit
talking-
more up?
No, I'm like freaked out.
Okay.
I'm like acting too scared
Okay.
because this whole like walking thing took over the course of like a minute or two. Of
Yeah,
me being
yeah.
like, this guy's like really mad, and I
Uh-huh.
think he thinks I'm someone, or I don't know what's going on. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
and then he comes in right as I'm like all fucked up sounding to these people. He grabs me by the neck. Everybody stops eating.
What?
Everybody like is looking at me in that weird like sort of what's gonna happen. And then this dude yells in my face like spinning. He goes, "This guy's a fucking racist.
Oh.
This guy's a fucking racist." And he goes, "I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Oh my
you think
God.
you could be a fucking racist to my?" And he starts like saying, "I'm gonna fuck you. You know what's in my backpack? I'm gonna fucking kill you." And I'm just like, and I have that moment for a second where I'm like, oh, I don't know how things end, but like, you know, I was like, I totally didn't expect it. You know, like
You
I was
were
like,
not
out of,
expecting you to
I
be
was like,
accused of being racist.
because
Yeah.
I was like, I have no, and I just like had that feeling when you're like on a wave
Yeah.
and it like crashes and you can't find up where's up and you're like, or a chair falls, you know, one of those feelings where you're like, oh, this is just
Your equilibrium is fucked right now.
or you're just like, I
Yeah.
don't know what is real or not real at that. You know, like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just sort of am like, have my
Am I
hands
being
up.
punked right now? Is that kind
Yeah.
of what you're thinking? Yeah.
No,
Like,
I actually thought
are
he
you
was just gonna kill me.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
you know, like I had that feeling of
Like,
like,
this is real.
like where I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess this is how you get killed.
Uh-huh.
You know, like randomly. Do you know what I mean? Like where you're not
This is
expect-
it.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
that
how I
feel-
die.
Yeah,
No,
that
I see what you're
feeling.
saying when you
yeah, like
when you
when you were like,
when you
oh,
think like these are
where
my
you're
last
helpless
moments
in this
Yeah.
weird moment.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna punch this. You know, like I was just like, I guess this
This is
guy's
how-
maybe gonna like stab me
This
in
is
the
where I
neck or
die.
something. You know, like I had this like
you are
feeling.
succumbing to death.
Yeah, I just had that feeling.
Uh-huh.
And then the manager's like, you guys got to get out of here. You know, because everybody's staring at this guy. It's interrupting everybody's meal. You know what I mean? Like it has become the thing everybody's like white as a ghost staring at. Like
Oh
I
my
have like
God.
25 people. And the craziest part is I'm like, yeah, get this guy out of here. And they all look at me like, you're a racist, man.
Oh.
And so like I suddenly am in this sticky issue where I'm just like, with this guy who wants to kill me, and they want to just make me leave their establishment. And so the guy walks out, the other dude with the backpack, he like is waiting and he just stares at me through the window. And I'm like, haha. And I look at the manager, I'm like, please just let me get like an Uber or something. Like, can you just let me like wait for a second for like an Uber?
Yeah,
and he was like, you know, like sizing, he's like, I don't know, man. You know, like, cause he's like, you guys kind of messed up this whole, you know, like, you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I was like, tried to reason with him. I was like, listen, this guy.
I'm not racist.
And it's so funny.
This black guy's just chasing me.
No,
I'm not racist.
No, and it was that
I didn't
vibe.
even notice he was black.
No, he was. So it was this like weird vibe where I was just like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I am so fucked.
It would
right
be
now.
funny if he was white. And you're like, you fucking
No,
racist.
it was like, yeah, it was all like everybody in that place was like 50-50. Like I was certain. It was one of those things where I was certain this guy was crazy.
Race war.
It did
sure.
not know it, but everybody in the place was like, I don't know if we trust this guy. He kind of looks like an asshole, and he could have maybe spit this guy's face.
Isn't that guy that looks like shit on that Dollar Shave commercial?
Sure. They were like, no.
We're already texting TMZ.
No, seriously. And so I was like,
Isn't that piece of shit from Boba Fett that'll never be a Jedi? Yeah.
it was really crazy. And so I like see the guy, I order the Uber. They like kind of trying to get me out, but I'm like seeing it's like 3 minutes away. And I like see it's there, see the Uber on the corner. I like run. He runs after me. He starts like hitting the side of the car as I'm like driving to the UCB
You're like,
intersectum.
Go.
And no, seriously, I was in the car running. I never had that moment, that stupid moment where I'm like, just go as fast as you can, right now.
Follow that cab.
Yeah, I'm just like, get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
And
They're like, hey, you want some gum? You're like, get out of here.
No, I was like terrified. And
Yeah.
so I pull up to UCB, and then you're all in your like, hey guys, we're gonna do like
got
zip,
your back,
zap,
got
zop.
your back, got your back.
Like-
I was like, I wish you got my back.
No, but it was funny because I think
Zip, zap, zop.
L was like, oh, sorry, how was Big Wigs? And I was like, it was fine. I was like, everything was fine.
Why
at
didn't
Big
you
Wigs.
tell us?
Because at that time, I realized for the next 3 days, I had this weird fear.
You were to be afraid that we thought you were racist.
No. I actually was irrationally terrified he was going to just show up. Like, I was actually scared on
PTSD.
everybody's. Yeah, it was this, like, I had the same feeling in the, I was in an acting class the next day where we all, like, sit in this acting teacher's, like, room and
Yeah.
and I had this like I had this feeling when we were doing our show at
There's
Theater
like-
Sanctum. I kept staring at the door, being like,
He's
"He
just
followed
gonna
me
show-
here. He's
Oh
gonna
my
be here."
God.
And then I had the same feeling the next day.
How
at the
far
acting
was the
thing.
drive?
It was
from-
like it's like 2 miles, so it's long enough that
Okay,
you're
so
like,
he
this
wouldn't
is
have
too
been able to
far,
follow, yeah.
but just long enough that an irrational
it's like
fear,
that thing in Terminator, you
or
know,
like
where
it
he
follows or
he's,
something.
Yeah, he's
I
like
was just
running far, like you know it's coming for you, but you know that it logically can't get to you in like a reasonable time.
That's exactly
Yeah.
the feeling. It was that weird purgatory feeling
Yeah.
of like, he's just not here yet.
There's
you know,
like-
like there, he's like on his way. And I'm
There's
like, there's no
this-
way he can know. But,
There's
yeah.
a show called Preacher that was on AMC for a while, and there was this one character that just like he was after the main character and was going to kill him, but the only thing is this guy just walked everywhere.
Right.
So like the guy would just like fly across the country, right? And he'd be like, all right, he's not gonna be here tonight, right?
That was
Like-
exactly my feeling.
He
was
might
that,
be here in like 3 days or something.
It was, and
Yeah.
I had that the whole show. We were there. I was like, dude, try it. You were probably like, he's making funny choices. But in reality, I was like, is he gonna fucking kill us?
All
now?
of your scenes
Yeah.
are just like us on a stakeout, just like this has nothing to do with the suggestion of ham
Like,
sandwich.
just start the door. He would
Everybody
come through
look
the
at
door.
the
Yeah, he's gonna come through here. He's
All
gonna
of your-
kill us all.
All of your
Yeah.
characters are being paranoid.
No, seriously.
That's wild, dude.
So it was funny because I
Did-
was thinking,
Did he ever catch up with you?
No.
Oh.
And I think I went to therapy for a bit. And
Oh,
like,
wow.
because it was a fear that it was potent for like 3 days, but it still had that feeling of like, ooh, I'm affected by it. Because if somebody like grabs you and
Yeah.
says they're going to kill you, looks you in the eyes, you have this feeling of like, oh, I'm now affected by this. Do you know what I
Dude,
mean? Like, that's so
you were
annoying.
literally a prey for a second.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean?
that's what it,
Like
that's what
as
it
if
felt
we
like
were
with
on the
wave.
plains of Africa, right? You were the gazelle and he was the cheetah, you know?
Yeah.
Like for a second, like I bet you that gazelle, after being chased by a cheetah for a while, was like,
Was
you know,
like,
for
oh,
like 3
yeah.
days, they're like, is it around us?
for-
You know,
for
they don't,
sure, yeah.
they don't visit the watering hole for a
Because
while.
you like just go walking down Hollywood, you know it's kind of sketchy, but you don't have that interaction where somebody's like, I have things in my backpack and I could kill you right now. And you're like, what does that mean?
I mean, did you ever go back to that Big Wings?
No, I hate Coing. I hate that area. You know, like
It is pretty bad. It's
it is
definitely got worse too.
It's like one of those like things where I'm like, oh, people say it's dangerous to walk in a dark alley at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? It was one of those things of like, oh, I was making eye contact. I was kind of just alone, like, I'm going to my improv show. You know what I mean? Like, like it was
Most
one of those
innocent things.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Your tummy's full of
My tummy's
delicious
full of
wings.
things.
Time for improv. Yeah.
No,
And
for
then it's
sure.
just like,
and you're like,
die,
something is
motherfucker.
moving and be like,
Not only were you challenged to death, but you were called the worst thing a white man could be called, which is racist.
yeah, and also one of those
In LA.
all of those crazy feelings too, where you realize that if you're in one of these moments, nobody helps you.
Yeah.
You know, like there were 25 people
It's
who were all like,
I don't know, this guy's trying to kill him, but then that guy's
"He's
also a racist.
and also I don't want to get up. You know, like because that was also the feeling where
these
where-
tacos just got dropped
yeah,
off.
they're like could be cold by the time he's dead. I think I don't know. Like yeah.
I mean,
It
that
was-
is part.
yeah.
The shitty part of LA is that like people think they're safe in big cities because there's so many people around, and you think like somebody will do something. Like, but then there's those horror stories of like people living in these apartment buildings with like the windows right there, and then like somebody's yelling for help
Yeah, right.
in
Yeah.
the alley, and no one calls the cops
Yeah,
because they just assume somebody else will do it.
Well, that was the feeling. It was like everybody assumed it would get figured out. Then it was totally not getting figured out.
Oh,
And then
man.
they looked annoyed. And that was where the manager was like, just get the fuck out, please. You know
We're
what I mean?
trying
Like,
to eat our
yeah.
tacos.
And they're like, and they saw it as like this icing on the cake of like, plus you're a racist man. Like, so we are in the right
I wonder
now.
why you thought you were racist. Is it because you were wearing that Nazi uniform you always wear?
No, it's because some dude ran in and said, this guy's a fucking racist until he was like about to kill me. You know what I mean? Like, so.
I'm trying to think. I've had a lot of different unhoused, thank you, experiences of people.
I'm not sure if he was unhoused. He had a backpack.
It was true.
Yeah, like he
Could have
didn't
been
look
living in the backpack.
because the other thing was like he wasn't like smelly or dirty. It was
Mhm.
like an intense fucking dude. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what's sort of scary too about like
Mhm,
Cahuenga.
mhm.
Like Hollywood is
Yes.
it's like kind of scary people, like as opposed to like unhoused people, like you want to help them. You want to give that, like
Yes.
like they're not providing for themselves in these basic, like this guy looked like he had nice skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
like had,
Oh.
like he was wearing like clothes that looked like he woke up that morning putting on clothes. It was
so
just
he
like an intense.
crazy.
I couldn't tell if it was drugs or something.
Oh shit!
It wasn't like smelly, like poor, unfortunate person having an episode. It was
No,
like
just
this
like
guy's
a
like
normal
crazy and fucking losing it at me
Wow.
right now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh fuck!
and is black, so it had all this
Yeah.
like stuff, but it wasn't like homeless, houseless person. It was
Oh
like
my
a
gosh.
different vibe. That
Yeah.
was also like terrifying.
I imagine
yeah,
this
like
to be a unhoused person.
no,
for sure.
it was like terrifying.
like
in
a
the sense,
like a normal looking person
and
that
that's
just
why
like starts
Hollywood's
chasing you.
yeah, where he's like looking at me and I'm like, he looks kind of like a model, funny, and then I'm like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. Do you know what I
Holy
mean? Like,
shit.
and is strong. Like
That-
he was wearing like a.
He was
was
ripped.
ripped.
So he
Like-
goes to the gym at least.
That was the thing. Like it wasn't like oh, I'm with some crazy person who
Yeah.
doesn't know where he is.
He was,
It
like,
was like
carrying
this-
his paper.
He like saw the person that was racist and thought it was me
Oh,
and
man.
thought he was doing. You know what I mean? So that's where I legitimately was like scared
That's
beyond
terrifying.
like beyond like that's where I think let go. Do you know what I mean? Where I was just like, oh, this
This is how I
crazy.
die.
I was like, this is the craziest thing
This is how I die.
I can imagine, and there's like a helpless feeling.
Oh my
in
gosh,
that moment. Yeah.
dude, that's terrifying. That is
Yeah.
that's got to be terrifying. So you're cool now.
That was years ago. That was during that time. So that was many years ago. But it did take a fair amount of time when
Okay.
something like, scary happens like that to you. You're like, you do, because it was an irrational fear, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
remember being in an acting class, being like, "Is it gonna come out?" And they were being like,
How
"Why
did
do
it manifest
for
in the acting class?
I just remember. That's why I hate acting classes, because sometimes they do this thing where they want to be like therapist, right? They
Oh,
like
it's the
ask, like, and
worst.
they do it as part of the thing.
And it's
like
yeah. I
and
remember
it seems almost like dangerous.
it's so dangerous.
yeah,
I remember one time just being like a teacher just having a woman just break down because they were like, just being like, why do you feel that way?
Right. Yeah.
Why? And then she was just like, my heart and it was like out of nowhere start crying.
Right, yeah.
It's like, yeah, acting classes are so fucking dangerous. But so
That,
it
to me,
came out
that's
that way?
yeah, where they were like, you seem a little nervous, you seem like you're kind of staring at
Embrace it.
like
Tell us
and
about
then,
it.
and then they were like, did something happen to you today? Like it was one of those things where like it wasn't like Elle or Alan being like flippantly like, big wings, how was it? And me being like, I don't need to talk about what just happened right now. But
I was
like,
almost killed.
yeah, but like it just felt wrong. But whereas if you have this like nice therapist-y woman teaching an acting class, and she's like, Clem, you just seem like you're somewhere else today. Do you know? Like, do you have something you want to talk about?
Yeah, I was just fucking killed, man.
No, and then then I went into this story, and they're like, well, obviously that's like a traumatic experience.
So, you told the whole thing?
Yeah, because they like got it out of me. Do you know? Like,
Oh,
so I had one of
wow.
those woman the heart thing where I had this episode where I like started, I probably cried. Like had all this stuff where I was like, I don't know what if he's here or whether where, you know what I mean?
Shit.
Like, and that was like the next day, so I was still all like jittery.
All right, well let's do this thing called Wild Redemption now. So you
Nice.
are let's put you back in that place if you feel safe.
Yeah,
to do
okay,
it.
yeah, let's go.
Okay, and you just left Big Wangs, and me, the scary unhoused person, is running towards you. You go inside the restaurant. This is how you redeem yourself. Figure out how to say how you're not racist, so that we help you. Hi, welcome to Pueblo's Tacos. How can I help you? You seem a little.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yeah.
There's somebody chasing after me. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, geez.
I don't know why he hates me so much, but I
Okay.
think he's about to come in here and he's gonna be.
Oh,
he's gonna want to fight me.
oh,
I don't know what to
okay,
say.
okay.
All I have to say.
Then the guy bursts in.
Yeah.
And he's
and
like,
I go,
"You fucking racist! You fucking racist! Oh,
Stop.
guys, please get out of our establishment. You're making a scene, please."
and then he leaves, and I go, listen, I can't go back out there. He's gonna
You're.
fucking kill me."
I'm sorry, sir, but you're fucking racist. We don't even want you guys in here. Get the fuck out of here, you racist piece of shit. And tell your guy, like, if he calms down, we'll give him a free meal, because obviously racism is bad, and we're obviously allies. So here at Pueblo's Tacos. But you fucking piece of shit, I hope you fucking die. I hope he kills
God.
you.
And then what I would do is I would be like, we gotta talk about this a little bit longer.
No, you're fucking racist,
And then
man.
I go type in the Uber.
No, you're racist. And if you want our help, you have to tell me how you're not racist.
I love. It's hard to argue whether or not you're racist, right?
Okay. That's exactly what a racist would
Because I think
say.
you're sort of born, like being.
This is
like,
not
sort of
an
in a pain-
argument to say how you're not racist.
This is where I get in a problem. I get in a hard time because I do understand that intrinsically white people. I've never been racist to this man.
Okay.
Is all I can say. I'm not a racist person.
Oh, so you're saying you're just generally racist?
I don't think
but
I'm a
not in this
racist
guy?
person.
Get
but
the fuck out of here,
Aw,
you piece
man.
of shit.
Okay,
I bet you don't even watch Spike Lee movies.
I like
you
some
piece-
of them.
Oh,
Some of them I don't get.
That is, get this. Hey, tell it. Hey, get in here. Hey, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
Hey, wait. I want to become friends with you, Mr.
Me?
Angry Man. Yeah, I think there's a lot probably in common between us. Like, who's your agent?
Obviously, I'm represented by CEA. Obviously.
Oh man, that's awesome. I'm not even represented by CAA. I'm represented by like a shitty boutique agency.
Oh yeah. Well, you just got to put the ground in and put the work. Anyways, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
No. But I just want to wish you the best of luck in your acting career, just like I have, my own career out here. We're all struggling. You're doing way better than me. You're at CAA. Give me a break.
I haven't booked anything in many years. And
Are you like
it's
on
just
something
grinding.
right now?
No,
Like
me right now?
Yeah, like
Well, I'm currently auditioning for a show that's on NBC.
that's
but-
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
so
you mean
cool.
drugs? Oh, what? I'm on meth.
Oh, that
That's
explains
normal
it.
meth,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I've never done meth before. It seems like it makes you kind of angry.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, except for the fact people like like extreme paranoia. And I don't know.
There's nothing to be. Well, you should have. I've never had Trejo tacos.
Yeah.
I'm just going to some stupid improv show. I'd rather just be
Oh,
friends
you
with
do
you.
improv?
You want to come to my show?
How do you be honest? You guys write all that stuff before you get up
No,
there, right?
we actually make it up on the spot.
No, shut up, man.
No,
You're
we
fucking
totally
crazy.
do.
I'm
Yeah.
crazy, but you're crazy.
No,
you're fucking crazy.
you're
You're
cool,
fucking
man.
crazy, man. Hey, you want some meth? Hey, let's hang out.
Do you
and
have
some
an
meth.
Instagram? Let's follow each other on Instagram.
And scene. You did good.
Yeah,
You redeemed yourself.
I feel better about the whole situation. I wish that's what happened. That is like the dream of what I wanted to happen in this.
You guys do a two-prop scene afterwards.
Fuck the manager and all the people at Trejo's Tacos.
Yes.
Like, I don't need any redemption for them.
Yeah.
Like, the guy that I wanted to like really understand was the person who wanted to fucking kill me.
Oh man. Well, Clem, we're gonna do just one more final segment here.
Fuck yeah. What's with that hat?
This is the wild card segment.
Nice.
Since it's you are the guest, I will pull a card out here and you have to answer it. Cool. It's either bad opinions or bad choices, which you could purchase on TikTok, on our TikTok shop. All right, here we go. So I'll pull one out. Boom, boom, boom. Here, you pull it out and then I'll read it for you. All right. Have you ever driven more than 3 hours to go on a date with someone?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
3 hours?
I've driven so far.
What are you
I
talking
drove to
about?
Milwaukee to go on a date from here.
From California?
Yeah, I made a comedy tour as like a reason to go
What
visit
the-
someone in
What
Milwaukee.
are you talking about?
I have, yeah.
You made it a tour. You're
yeah,
like,
I was like, she moved to Milwaukee, and I was like, I still want to hang, and then I was like, but I have a week off. I'll drive there, and then I drove to Milwaukee.
So she invited you over?
Sorta.
She didn't even invite you?
She was like, you could come anytime you want, right? And I was
Okay.
like, oh, I'll come, and then-
Now.
yeah, I was like,
I'm on my
it takes
road.
me like a week to get there. And then it was funny because at the time she was like living in Vegas. I drove to visit her in Vegas too.
Uh-huh. What?
And so I drove there and I get to Milwaukee and she thought it was this flippant like thing. And I had been doing I'd done like 7 tour dates up to I was like doing shows and
Yeah.
shit. And I planned it so I could be in Milwaukee on this like 2-day weekend to see her.
Oh.
And I call her and I hadn't heard from her in like a couple days. I'm like, hey, I'm in Milwaukee. I got this place. It's time to hang out. She goes, I'm in Vegas right now.
Oh, no.
And then I go, that's so much closer to LA. Like, why couldn't you just tell me you were in Vegas?
So it was also, were you trying to surprise her too?
Well, like, it was one of those things where I was like, I could be there at around that time. Like, it was one of those things I thought would be cute. And then she was like, I'll be in Milwaukee again in like a day and a half. If you could wait one more. And I was like, sure.
and then she showed up.
Yeah, then she showed up. But it was one of those
Wild.
funny feelings when I got when I was like, I made a mistake, I think.
Dude, I won't even drive to West LA for a date. Are you kidding me? Milwaukee?
It's
Wild.
great. Everybody should visit Milwaukee.
No.
You're just like,
No. Oh my
Too
God.
funny.
That was okay. So I'll draw one and then you have to read it to me. Okay.
Would you accept $500,000, but every time you speak, you have to rub your nipples?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Oh wait. For the rest of my life? Does it say that?
It says in
$500,000 to rub my nipples. I kind of already do that. It's just like it's like a
and
comforting
you do it in a way
thing.
that doesn't seem weird.
Yeah, I'm just like like a little tweak. $500,000 for the rest of my life to rub my nipples. Rubbing my nipples is great. It feels good.
$500 is not.
$500,000
is not chump change.
Listen, I just quit my job. This has come up a few times. I will do anything for a little
And
extra
you're just
cash.
like this.
I'm
doesn't
selling.
take anything.
I'm selling cards on TikTok. I'll fucking rub my nipples. I don't give a shit. All right. Here, you draw one more. Let's do 2 more. Bad opinions. Here we go. The most offensive thing someone could say to you, and this is your bad opinion.
Like that would actually hurt my feelings.
Yeah, the most offensive thing someone could say to you.
One time, I right after doing it with some very attractive woman,
Okay.
she looked at me and said, she started just like laughing. And then I went, what's so funny? And she goes, how does somebody like me end up with somebody like you? And I remember that like stung for a couple weeks. Like it was one of those things where I was like really happy and then like suddenly like brought down to reality in like a millisecond.
That's where she came. She didn't come. She came on that emotion, like just fucking berate, being abusive.
Yeah.
Holy
I was
shit!
just like, that's funny.
Oh my God!
So
Yeah.
that one, that's that. Yeah, that was it.
I guess. Yeah, I don't even have anything to top that, dude. That was great. Let's move on.
All right, you choose one now.
This is one of those things where like I usually have something to top the guest or like go and like I'm always speechless, man, when I talk to you. Here we go.
All right, let's go. Have you masturbated in the last 24 hours?
24 hours? Yes, for sure.
Fuck yeah.
That's just the question.
Isn't it like requisite for a man to just unload?
You can't live with blue balls, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck no, dude.
That was a big conversation yesterday at your comedy show.
It was.
It was like blue. I didn't even know people talked about blue balls anymore.
Like, yeah.
Like, is that an excuse to a woman where it's like, babe, I got blue balls. They
dude,
hurt.
these men out here are stupid.
Seriously, the like things I hear,
Of,
and that's like just
stupid
weird.
men.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck. She doesn't want to have sex. Shut the fuck up.
It's mind blowing. Like just from the amount of comedic anecdotes you hear from very like normal, reasonable, smart women, just talking about like their yesterday experience, and you're like, this. I hope this is hyperbolic.
Yeah,
this is
seriously.
like crazy bad.
Like,
you're like all
who
the time.
are you dating? And they're like, babe, you can't leave me high and dry. I got fucking.
Right,
it hurts so much. You don't want to hurt me, babe.
Like that's the person
need to
I'm
fuck
competing
you.
with. That's why, like
exactly.
it's like crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
Guys, all you have to do is just be normal and vulnerable, and you'll finally meet somebody. You don't have to be this bullshit like sex addict that like needs to prove yourself all the time. Like,
I don't know. Just even saying something to someone like, babe, got blue balls.
You can't leave me.
Hurts.
What do you want me to do?
Hurts.
What am I supposed to do with this?
You masturbate within 24 hours. It's really
you fucking
simple.
jack off, dude.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter.
All right,
that
pick another one for me because that was too easy.
Yeah.
Bad opinion.
Ooh, what is the most annoying generation?
Ooh, the most annoying generation? Let's see. The most annoying generation. Obviously, boomers get a lot of hate. And I think that's like too obvious, right?
Boomers, yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I fucking hate a boomer for sure. Karens. I think the most annoying is for sure Gen Z.
Really? You think Gen Z are annoying?
It's so fucking
Why?
annoying. Mainly because I just assumed because we grew up in that transitional phase of like technology kind of taking over and the internet, right? We just assumed that these people would be the most literate, woke, like great at technology thing. They can't even work. They can't even know they don't know how to print printers. Like, yes, it's not relevant, but the idea, like you would think they'd be able to figure it out. It's so easy. Like, yes, it's not, you don't need to do it, but like, they don't even know the computer, how the technology that they works, which is annoying. Like, you're so annoying.
You're a smart technical man though.
It's
like,
it's wild to me. Like I've always, it's like, oh, I'm stupid. I'm learning this because I want to be part of the cutting edge. So the Gen Z people, I won't be left behind for the Gen Z people. But these it's like they're all the humans in Wall-E, you know, like they're lazy. They don't do shit. I sound so old.
No,
right
it's
now.
true though. No, it's something that like I've heard more and more, and that's something I have to like get to understand a little bit about the Gen Z vibes. Is that they are very like, you're like, you become like a boomer around them. Not you, one does, because you like suddenly are like, what do you do all day? You know what I mean? Like you suddenly start asking these questions you never want to ask like anybody.
I also hate that they're so obsessed with the 90s. Like it's such a tacky look.
Yeah.
The Janko jeans are back.
So
are
back. I was just on a
me?
set where there were all these people shooting and that were in that Gen Z era and they were all wearing Jinkos.
Jinko jeans were so stupid back in the day. Like it's like I could not pick anything more satirical for people to latch onto. It's like as if The Simpsons decided what was going to be popular in the 90s for Gen Z. You know, like no one would have imagined Trump to be president, and then all of a sudden Trump is president. You're like, what? That was a joke. We did that. Like, anyways, that's the most annoying thing, and that's been my TED Talk. I think we'll end it there. Unless do you agree on Gen Z?
I'm on the fence. I feel like boomers to me are still the most annoying.
That's
like
true.
I was like that. It's funny. I was on that shoot, and the Jinko guy was the DP. And it was like a low budget sort of thing. We were shooting in a public park and we were sitting on this bench. And tell me, actually, I want to ask you this question.
Okay,
so there was a public bench on a public park. It was me, the director, the DP, and like two other people working on the film. And then like I was sitting on the park bench. There there was a woman on the other side of the park bench talking on the phone. It was Mother's Day.
Oh, like a real person, not
a real
like somebody
person,
on the
just
actor.
some
Okay.
Citizen of the park, sitting on the phone.
Just someone minding their own business
and
because
so,
it's a public park.
Yeah, and so we're sitting on the other side trying to audition the shot a little bit.
Okay.
And so we're auditioning the shot.
Which means just testing it. What's it going to
we're
look
like
like?
trying to look at it, trying to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then we do that for like 20 minutes and she gets off the phone. And then we're like, okay, we'll maybe start the shot now.
Uh-huh.
And then she looks at us and a super boomer Karen, blonde woman, like Marjorie Taylor Greene looking LA vibes of a woman.
Okay.
And I have not, and this is just some dumb thing where I'm doing with some friends. And she looks at us and she's like, that was the rudest thing I've ever fucking seen. And we were like, whoa, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what do you, and I'm, for some reason, because I'm closest to her, I'm the one speaking on behalf of this production now.
Of
and
course.
I'm sorry. We thought we were being polite by like not saying anything because you were in a conversation. We were just sort of like trying to figure it. And then the other director is like, yeah, we thought we were being polite by not like
saying
talking to
anything.
you.
Yeah.
And then she just backs away and there's other people at the park and starts pointing at us and she goes, I hope whatever you're fucking doing fucking fails.
Oh.
And she just keeps saying that over and over again.
Jesus.
Like she's like cursing this like weird and it's just this like this like self-righteousness that like boomers, like it's like this, and it's this like, oh my, and it's funny because the camera guy was wearing Jinkos. So I think like in her eyes,
there's some
like,
stupid
there was
kids.
this like, she was just like, oh, I can do,
she has like she's taking out on her kids. Yeah.
Seething,
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
like so
I would
fucking
never
mad.
raise you. If you were my kids, you would never get away with this.
And it's funny because the shoot was like me pretending to do a selfie ad. So like then she leaves. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? Like
you guys are all like doing fidget spinners and
like
stuff.
Yeah. So like her worst
fucking
nightmare.
annoying.
And it actually comes full circle because she backs away, like yelling that, like in a mad way, not
Really?
like in an
I hope
ironic way.
this fails.
No, she just
You're racist.
Not mad. No, she's just like, I hope whatever you're doing fucking fails.
Wow.
Like, and she says it like mad, not like in a screaming way, but like
yeah,
in this like I'm cursing,
it's a curse.
like you guys are
boomer
embarrassing.
curse.
Yeah, like it was this boomer. And she
Karen
like backs
curse,
away,
yeah.
and it was that same rate. It's probably because I have some PTSD from it. But for the rest of this like 3 hours, I'm like, is she gonna come back and just fucking like?
Oh shit!
Just be like stupid Jinko wearing pieces of fucking shit.
There needs to be more boomer mass shootings. I think
I like, to me it seemed possible. Do you know what I mean? Because to her she wasn't
was
getting
so upset
because the thing was I was doing that thing that happens with cops and me, like why I'm really bad around all these people is like I'll say I'm sorry, like I'll be like I'm sorry.
It
Okay,
does not come
and
across.
she keeps saying you're not fucking sorry. Like because it was interspersed with you're not fucking sorry. Like and I was like whenever that happens with girlfriends or people who were like, you're not fucking sorry. The next thing they ought to do is to hurt me. Do you know? Because they're like, now you're sorry. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's the only
you're not sorry
like,
enough.
Or like cops do it. Like they're like putting me in. They're like, now you're sorry. Like, and you're like, I guess I don't know.
I was sorry the whole time.
Yeah.
I do feel like Karens do have this like incel level. Like Karens are like
Right,
the
it seemed
incels of
You're
boomers.
right. No, that because I felt like
they're
it wasn't.
fucking. You guys don't understand me. They're like writing a whole manifesto on Facebook
Because I
instead
could
of
see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
Like she was like, "You aren't sorry."
You
and I
imagine
need to,
her like she
make
went
you,
home. She's like, today I was treated so rude by a bunch of Gen Zers.
Jinkos.
I was just having a very loud conversation in a very public park, and these motherfuckers were trying to share the space with me.
Seriously, because like the director who's like all of them are soft boys, like super soft boys. So they were all like, "What happened?" They were like they couldn't figure out like why she was, and I was just like, "Yeah." They were like, "We said we were sorry."
Yeah.
like.
And then all her friends would be like, God, this generation is so fucked. We should just get out of here. This is why I'm voting Trump, because make America great again.
I was just like,
this is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wild. Well, that's fucking wild. And this episode has been wild.
Fucking
Clem,
awesome. Thank you, Adam.
Clem Darling. God damn it, you're just a darling of a man. I hope more people say that to you.
Thank you.
Because this has been a goddamn
You're a darling
fun.
of a man too.
Oh, thank you so
Coming
much.
from a darling.
An actual darling. It actually means a lot. Well, thank you again for coming out. This will be out in a few weeks. Is there anything you want to plug?
Boing Man, Rise and Fall.
Yeah,
is potentially going to be out on something somewhere. But
Boing Man is the name of it, right? Or
it's actually a really long title. It's called Typecast or The Rise and Fall of Boing Man. It's a sort of reference to Birdman. We thought it would be funny to have one of those Fiona Apple,
Like
like really
super long
long titles. That's
Your
like
name on it is
unnecessarily
really
long.
funny. What's your name? What's your
Clyde Cudley. Yeah.
Which
it's
is very similar to Clem Darling.
Yeah, we were trying to find the equivalent of
I
the
fucking-
eye roll you get when you go, hey, my name's Clem Darling.
Yeah,
It's
like-
like my name's Clyde Cudley.
Which is great.
Yeah, right.
So
No,
good.
yeah, it's trying
The
to
writing
create
is,
it.
you can already hear it in the name. It's so great. Everybody should go check that out whenever it's available.
Yeah, we're pitching it to a bunch of production companies now, and hopefully they'll put it on some streaming site. But you can
Awesome.
follow me on Instagram, and I'll post about it.
Where can people follow you?
At Clement Darling.
At Clement Darling, not Clementine Darling.
No,
That-
that's a very awesome singer-songwriter from
Yes,
Sonoma.
That
But
folk freak of Sonoma, darling of folk freak. Thank you so much again for coming on the
thank you,
show.
Adam.
You can follow me at Adam R. Mack for some wild news and some stand-up clips where I've had some very interesting wild interactions. More to say, will there also be some more wild interactions on this YouTube page? So make sure to follow that because some more shit's happening in the wild there. You can follow this podcast on That Was Wild Pod on all the social medias, TikTok, Instagram, and leave a 5-star review. It really helps out the show. All right, Clem, we're going to end the show like we always do. Look down the barrel of that camera, that little box right there,
That
and,
box.
and say that was wild on the count of 3. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
That was wild!